I don't think nothing happening. Maybe we get a bit, we get a little deeper in the correction. This is what we are waiting for the decline to stop in one of the figures. In that way, we should know which degrees we are. I believe at this stage that is this one or this one. It's one or the other. It's getting big in time. That's what I was telling you, David. You see, it's getting big in time. It still is good with this one, but it's getting big in time. I'm going to show you the Fibo times in a bit right there, so you know what I'm talking about. This is a big correction time-wise. Okay, guys, today is Friday. We're going to go with the last photo of the week, and hopefully we can take a break. It's been a tough week as you can get for trading, to be honest with you guys. Very tough week. But, well, that's part of the profession that we got. Now, right here, we have the euro dollar, and the euro dollar yesterday clarified the count, and the euro yesterday broke higher. Oh, we know that now. Now, what it matters is the euro dollar in some degrees. What it matters is from here. 1, 2, 3. Now, the question is we still are, how you doing, Rafi? We're still at within the wave 3 of 3, or we are in the big 4 already. Now, the RSI is not providing divergency, and coming from the 5-way move, it should happen. And so, if you downgrade the RSI, let me show you what you get. You see that from here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, most likely a 2, and then the power for wave 3, and look, the peak from here, you got divergency in this high. This high here comes with divergency, with a little divergency. Now, from here, you see 1, 2, 3, most likely 4, and a 5. So you get divergency here. That means that this cycle is over. Now, the question is, if this correction, which is corrective, is related to this one or the other one. It's very hard to tell. All you have to do is play the market as it is. When you gotta, that's why you have multiple entries, because you play both scenarios. We're in at the 23.6 here. We have another entry coming in at 141. But if you play the next downgrade scenario, that's why you have another entry at 40.70, covering both the scenario. But at the end, a new high should happen on the euro. Now, Davey just asked me about the Fibo times. This is the way I use it, Davey. I use it like this. In an ABC, wave A and wave C should be, ideally, should be equal in time and price, right? Now, the same way you use in the 5-way move. In the 5-way move, wave 4 should relate with wave 3 or with wave 1 and 5. 1 to 3, I'm sorry. Let's say in this scenario, you go here, you take your Fibo time, and let's say that you have 1, 2, 3, and that's the count, right? You trace it here. Right, my bad. You trace it here, and that's when you see that you see the 1.236, the market buy, the 1.618, the market buy. I don't use it that much. I use it more for AV6, but that's how it play out. Now, if you see that and you see that it passed the 2.618, in other words, right here is getting a string already. If you see the pass the 2.618, that means that that's not the cycle. Now, if you go here and you trace the this right here, you're going to see how interesting is today at 4 p.m. or at 2 p.m. is very interesting. And then it can last until the 1st of November, when it's going to be 1.618 the time that it took to get here, or 618 the time that it took to get here. In other words, if right here took from the 21st, I don't know how many bars in a 1 hour chart, this is 6.18 that time. So that's how the Fibo trade, the Fibo times they play in the market. Now in an AVC, is the same scenario. If you mention this, the C-way should be related time-wise also with the A. The dollar can, the euro can have one of the most beautiful time relationship in an AVC. Let me see if I show you later. If I remember, they were equal in price and times, I believe. So that's how I use it, David. I mean, I don't use it that much, to be honest with you guys. I don't use it that much because that is adding more complications to things that are already complicated. You know what I mean? I would go with a Fibo, with a retracement Fibo, like right now here or here, and I post myself in favor of the trend. That's all. That's how I usually most. So that's for the euro right here, guys. I want to show you something I mentioned on the video, which is the euro on the weekly. And I start to fall in love with this scenario because I keep seeing cable, and it's amazing that when cable was, when the market was right here, we say cable is gonna, the market is gonna go higher because cable. Yeah, the same as a Fibo retracement. Yeah, you got it right, and that's how you use it. Now, this was pretty good. This was pretty good with a cable count. In other words, you got an A, and then you got A, B, C, D, E, and you are now in the E way. Well, who say no? That's a good one. Look, it went to the 618 almost of the C way, and maybe this is, like Rafi say, maybe this is B or D. Maybe it's B or D. Do not matter. All you need to care is that I'm expecting personally that the euro should find resistance in this area at some point. And I'm expecting 144.20 to 145.28 to top this rate, this rally in the euro. Now that we know that all we got in the B way, it was technically nothing. You need to attack after 5 ways from 36.50. You need to attack the short side of the euro. To be honest with you, that can be a heck of a trade. And this put the euro at 114.25. And there is a deviation here, which is the bullish triangle that I mentioned yesterday, when we have A, B, a C coming out, a D and E, something like that, and that's bullish. But anyway, being the bullish everything, I think that the area between 144.25, 145.30 should break the euro down. I don't trust those European, I don't know what they're doing there. I don't trust it. I think that at the end doesn't matter. This thing is going to work like this. I don't say that much because I don't want to create, even with me having no bias, only a technical bias, if you put it at it, because I'm an honest guy, and I was forcing a B way down here. It's not because anything, it's because 95% of the times a B way goes to the 50%. That's the only issue. And I'm only going to follow my technique out to the end until prove me wrong, how it's called in technical analysis. And I think that moment that was right to wait for the B way lower. That's how markets is sometimes. I mentioned yesterday that we can be in a rally like this one. Look, I remember that day pretty well. That was pretty fast. And then it went down even harder. So we can be something like that. But I like this count technically. Technically, I like this count. My weekly indicator, the one that I use, is going to close at the top. So I'm expecting this rally to find resistance again at 145.29, 145.30, and then reverse from there. That's what I'm expecting. Now, any question about the euro, Rafi? You happy today? I know. Now, the reason that I've been saying that is because of the Rafi. I will go there now. Look, it's the same structure Elliott ways Y. Technically the same result. An E way and a thrust lower. That is going to take the pound very lower, to be honest with you guys. It can take the pound very lower to most likely 123, 124 area minimum. That's very, very low. But well, don't even mention the equal legs. But well, that's why that count in euro makes sense. You see it, Isa, you like it? That's why it makes sense right there, because it goes pretty well with that cable count. Only a break of the trend line to the outside would negate that count in euro and everywhere. Now this is the $1 million question. How the US dollar is going to fix all that thing. Because look, this is the weekly candle on the dollar. And between you and me, it looks very bearish. Look, without buyers, if you look at this and you see, if you see this, you have to admit it, that is bearish. And you, without buyers, you can say that is going to make a new low. If you look only at the weekly candles. Look. If you look this, 1, 2, 3, and you see this set up, and I remember me saying, right here that the biggest corrections in the summer is going to happen. But man, it's been brutal to the downside. It's been very brutal. So let me see tonight. Maybe the dollar is still, let me see when I do the day. I remember. Exactly. I remember like this is today, Isaac. I remember, my friend. And this is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but Rafi, that being in three-way doesn't mean anything, because to get to 5, you need to pass by 3 as a moment. So technically speaking, I mean, I have to tell you guys, it's a possibility. It's very, very iffy. Discount only a diagonal can make the case, but it doesn't look like a diagonal anymore. Well, that doesn't say nothing, Rafi. To be honest with you, I was spreading a big way to the 30 to the 50%, and even got to the 38 too. So if you, I mean, this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 within the diagonal like we mentioned a long ago. And this, I mean, to be honest with you, now it's not time to start worrying about weekly counts or the stuff. It's better being playing small time frames like we're doing today, cashing 100 picks and moving on onto this market, clarify what it wants to do with the dollar, because it looks like the dollar is going to, look, this is the diagonal that we mentioned in the Norwegian crown the other day. It's like I say, guys, this is a three-way move, almost close to invalidation of the bullish on the dollar. The Norwegian is the closest one to invalidate that bias. Am I right, Isa, right? Yeah, Norwegian. The closest I see to invalidation of the bullish side on the dollar is the Norwegian crown. I want you guys to pay attention to that pair. Because, look, this can be a diagonal wave 5. So that's what we see, guys. Like I say, smart trading. Don't worry too much about weekly and daily. Now worry about the 4 ways that they are unfolding there and a possible move into a 5th way of risk. S&P, 1 second. Yeah, go to cable now, Rafi, 1 second. I like this in the S&P. I believe this, I'm sorry, this B doesn't go here. It depends on how we see it. This B can be here or can be here with a flat. But at least one more high, one more move in risk should happen at any moment. I believe it's going to happen next week, of course. It won't happen today, but at least until here, it should happen. Now, an area between 1300 and 1337 should find resistance. And, 1 second. The 76.4 comes at 1306. S&P love the 76.4. So let's see, but it's very clear looking at the 4-hour chart that this is a wave 3, and it's very clear that probably it's going to make a 4 or 5, something like this. Until here is guaranteed. So risk has more outside. I have no question in my mind that risk got more outside. So let's move on to cable and show you the count in cable. This is what we like in cable. I don't care about what cable is doing before here. I care about cable from here. Why? Because you have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. It stopped yesterday at the 618 right there to the pit. And I believe one second. Of course, you have divergency because it's a cycle from here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's the higher rate in the RSI because it's wave 3 of 3. And then you got a 4, a second divergency, a 4. But what it matters the more is you now, Rafi, you need to forget about anything. You forget about from here to here. And then the RSI, today's high, it gives you divergency. This is the one that you need to care about. Today's highs give you divergency. But it didn't reach. If you go small, if you go small, it's a fifth way. So everything is allowed. From here, this is the higher rate, and the rest is divergence, right? Maybe you have 1. This is 1, 2. Look at this. 1, 2, probably 3. I'm sorry, within the 3, you got 1, 2. It's overlapping here. Who knows what it did right there? I would say, let me get back to the 10 minutes right here. All I say in cable is, I like that, guys. I like my fifth way get to at least the 1.236. And right here, it didn't reach it. So I would say, and that's why we are long. That's why we are long euro pound, because I believe that the euro is going to outrun the pound like it did yesterday. Cable, maybe a new marginal high. I can tell you that. Cable may be a new marginal high, but it should top soon. So that's telling me, I would say this, the most likely scenario is this is in 3 from the lows. That's a 3. Either it's going to make like an ending diagonal wave 4, or it's going to make it flat and going higher and before going lower. But it's stopping. That's all you need to care about it. Cable is stopping. You know what I mean, Rafi? It's stopping. Now, for me, this is the A way or the whole move. Do not matter one or the other. So that's what I like in cable. Now, the euro pound, exactly. That's why we presenting this scenario. When we ending A, we're going to get 3 backs in bid and another round in a double zigzag, taking cable to 164, 163 and change. You know what I mean? Now, looking at the euro pound, it looks like, yeah, this cycle is ending. Don't matter, no question about it, Rafi. Looking at the euro pound, I think it's in the next 1, 2. Yeah, but if a three-way move do not give you divergency in an hour, in a 4 hour. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and higher. This chart is telling me that the euro is gonna outrun cable. We buy here looking for 86 because it's the 1.236, but we left one position open because ideally these two legs, they're gonna be equal. And ideally, this pair is gonna reach 89 area in 5 ways, like it this right here. But this pair is very tricky. I can tell you guys, you need to be ready. This pair is very tricky. That's why we have a small stop loss right there, very small stop loss, because this pair is very tricky. But the chart is telling me that euro is going to be stronger than that cable. That's what the chart is telling me there. Any question, guys? Well, there you go. The dollar CAD looks like is, one second guys, something's wrong here. Hello, hello, hello. You guys hear me? Something was wrong with the computer. 1 second. Okay. You guys hear me now? Rafi, do you hear me? Got you. Something was wrong here with the other computer. Well, okay, the dollar cat, this is the scenario that we like. Most likely that we are in some, all depend on this. Why? Because you can subdivide this in multiple ways. You can call this, if this move from here to here, yeah, one more low for sure. Ideally 98.03, like we're saying here. In other words, you got, let's put it this way. Let me take the triangle for a while so you understand roughly what I mean. If these two legs, they were related down here, I mean, you can say this, I like it like this, A, B, C, W, S, and then A, B, C, the A ended here. But you can subdivide it too when this is A, this is W, this is A, and then this A ended here, and Y goes here. And then in that way you have A, B, C, D, E. And then from here, you ended this A that goes with either this or this, and the B. I mean, it's very tricky, the dollar cat, to be honest with you guys. Very, very, very tricky. But the good thing is that looks corrective. You follow me? It looks corrective to the downside. So that's making the case for in favor of the dollar. I think that the next, there is a huge chance that the next is not in place anymore. So I was hoping yesterday to get fill at the 97.85. It didn't happen. So, but maybe the count that Isaac was showing me as a double zigzag from the lows, I believe it was, is possible. But it looks corrective. The thing is this, guys. In trading, in Elliott way, much better. Wave 2 cannot be a triangle. And then if the euro did a triangle in the middle, and if the dollar did a triangle in the middle, that means that the move is meant to be fake. You know what I mean, Rafi? That's all you need to care about. If this looks like a triangle now, all you need to care in the dollar cat now is from here. Let me show you this. I don't know if it's going to explode, Rafi. I won't say that. Because if I see a dollar coming out of the 5 ways in the lows on the dailies and the weekly, I've been telling you right now that the dollar is going to explode. But I don't think it's the case. I have a 3 way, so I won't say that to you. Now, this is what I see in the dollar cat from the highs. You got 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If that's the case, from here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3, and that's why you see that I was mentioning yesterday 99.60 is because this looks like is the count that is in place right there. And then from there, probably we're going to get this. Depends on how deep the euro the dollar correction goes. And then from 99.78 should trade. That's one scenario. There is another scenario that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is wave one, wave 2, and then we are on the 3 right now. That can be another case. But at least, like the dollar, like I've been saying, the dollar here, at least the dollar, I see one more cycle higher in risk, in my opinion. And let's see if we can get those move out. Let's see if we can get those move out. Any question, guys? This is on the 60-minute, right? Yeah. There is no divergence. So it's a three-way move from here. If you see, you got a 5 in this move. You got a 5, look. So you're expecting lower. And that's telling you that the dollar, the euro dollar got more upside and everything. The dollar got more downside. I got no question in my mind. I know it was tough for us in the way that big way to 50%, but well, that's part of trading. That's what I'm favoring cable to the outside after 3 ways. You know cable, Rafi, better than most of the people. Cable live his own world. You see that correction in the 3 ways to the downside? Guess what? The dollar can be consolidating in a small wave 4, and cable goes and do that, as you know. That's how cable is. That's how cable is. But I expecting more weakness in the dollar. That's for sure. Any other pair, guys? Look, this is why I love the Norwegian crowns. You guys should know that. Not for trading too much, but to get the feeling when the dollar is. Look, this is the Norwegian crown. It looks like it did the 1, the 2 in the flat, like many pairs. And then from here, it looks like 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's in the 4. And even, this is a good point that I want you guys to see. Most of the US dollar pairs went, to the 1.618 of the move at the beginning of the week, of this move. Let's say 1, 2. Most of the pair went to the 1.618. The Norwegian didn't. So that's telling me that most likely, that's why I'm still favoring the euro being in wave 4 or wave 3 or wave Z, if we can label it like that. Because I think that right here at 534, the Norwegian crown is going to end the wave 3. That's going to happen in the euro around 143.30.50, a retracement, and then another high, another low here, another high on the euro. Exactly, that's a good point. Should happen on Monday. If it doesn't break on Monday, then only one high. Exactly. That's a good point, Ralph. Now, another one is the Singapore dollar. And I'm waiting, guys. I want you guys to understand. I'm waiting on the dollar yen. Don't believe that I forgot about it. But I want to wait my 75.40 area be reached. This is very bearish on the dollar. 5. This one didn't do. I mean, the Singapore dollar, Rafi, is the good and the bad in the dollar. You know that? Let me show you why. Because when everyone did a triangle in the middle or something like a triangle, this one was the only one that the B passed the A. That wasn't in case in any other on the euro. And look, it went to the 3802 by the pick right there. Now, that being the case, this is telling me that this can be 1, 2. All right? Now, they were going to get equal at 121. But if you take it from here, it's at the 1618. That's the level that the Norwegian krone didn't reach. Right? So, what happened? That's the bad, because that's allowed the dollar to get bearish. But the good one is that out of all the US dollar pairs, this is the only one that did a 5-way move from the lows on the daily. Hey, 1 second. If you look at it, this is the 4-hour. If you look at it from the lows, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Clear 5-way structures. RSI supporting wave 3 here. I mean, it's a very clear way structure right there from the lows. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look. Now, that's bullish for the dollar. So, I like a long, and then if this pair is going to get long, exactly, you should trade short term. 122 is very important right here. 122.72 is the 76.4, and it's 121.75, 122.70 is huge. And I'm following this pair to get a better idea of where we are. I know you know what I'm doing. I mean, to know where we are in the dollar, but that's very interesting on the Singapore dollar. This is a 5-way move. I hope all you guys agree. This is the only 5-way move in the dollar. The only one in the whole dollar group out of the lows is the Singapore dollar. Yeah, but we are not covering anymore. Well, I don't know, Isaiah, it means more on. I mean, I don't care, to be honest with you, but it's just because, like I've been saying, all I know is more right here. There is 300 picks to the downside. That's all I care right now. But I'm watching it. Now, not in my book. I'm saying this is the only one in the whole dollar group. That's to the question, because I would say, no, the US dollar didn't answer. In my book, no. It is questionable. It is questionable. Look, the Norwegian, I mean, let's not worry, guys, about weekly and daily. Doesn't make sense being worrying about weekly and daily counts right now. But look, the same way that the Singapore dollar is supporting a bullish dollar, guess what, guys? Look at that. Look at the time that it went here. Because look, the Norwegian krone is the closest structure in the whole group even that better than the euro, that is going to look like that it's going to look like the dollar. And look, in 1 month, in less than a month, has erased almost 4 months or 3 months of trading. That's telling me that the trend, believe it or not, most likely is in favor of the Norwegian, in my book. And that's why I don't want to worry now about, look at the bounce. If this was a 5, you should get a biggest bounce from the 618 and from the 764. So I'm open to everything on the dollar. I'm open to everything on the dollar. I mean, the dollar making a new low doesn't mean that the euro needs to make a new high. Let's put it like that. Not necessary. But this level taken here, which is 531, means gains over for the dollar, in my opinion. But don't worry about this biggest time frame. Better worry about the idea that you need to cash the 4s and the 5s. That's going to happen. That there is a lot of money there to be made, and be worrying about why the big issue with the dollar is. Let the dollar be. Like I said yesterday in the last night video, the S&P can break the high that didn't make. Who knows? But this is very important in my view. Look at that. It's very, very important right there. Any question, guys? And to be honest with you, it said to me more about the dollar, the Norwegian krone, than the Singapore dollar. I was checking a chart for that. I remember the name of the pair. Is that the one for South Africa? Doesn't say too much either against the dollar. The same with the Brazil one, doesn't say too much. But this one, yes, because there is oil in the middle. Any question, guys, about any pair? Aussie, 1 second. Aussie is very interesting. Again, Aussie, this is very interesting also, guys. Aussie from the lows, what you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 swing. Very interesting. Keep that in mind. Look at the RSI. Right here, you got a little divergency. It went back right here, and now we are right here. I see this as a 5-way swing, because if you go right here and you look at the RSI, you're going to see, like I have been saying, from here to here, you're going to see a swing of divergence. And then from here to here, it looks like it did another swing of divergence. I was thinking about another way around. This is the higher rate on the RSI. I was thinking about 1, 2, 1, 2, and then like this is wave 3 and a cycle ending here in 5, calling this a whole 5-way move as a possibility also. But again, it looks like a B-way triangle, and then 1, 2, and it looks like we are in wave 3 right now. And wave 4, or in wave 3 or wave 3, something like that. But again, more to the outside. Now, if you take the housing, my friend, on the daily, I was talking to DV yesterday, and he's the biggest dollar bull and the biggest Aussie bill. I was telling my friend, we've been labeling this as an AVZ, and it has the look at it of an AVZ to the downside. This is very powerful. And that's what I say, never say never. This is very powerful. Time say a lot, guys. Time say a lot. Look how long it took in this move, time-wise. Look how fast it has erased it. Look how long it took in this move. Look how fast it erased it. That's telling you what you mean 3434. Oh, right here? Exactly. That's telling you that most likely ours is going to make a new high. And that's why I don't want to trade. From now on, all you're going to get from me in the next 5 to 7, probably 2 weeks, they are intraday trades, minimum risk, because the long-term charts, they are not clear, to be honest with you guys. The only swing trade that I trust right now is the dollar yen. This is the only one that I trust right now, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my area, either 74.57 to be reached, or 75.18. I'm waiting for that area. Why one? This is on the daily, because at 74.57, the proposal wave 5 right here. 1 second. Yeah, if this is a 5, the proposal 5 right here is going to be the 618 of 1, 2, 3. And then if it goes, because I believe it's doing a series of 3 ways, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, and then the 75.18, because BC is going to be 618 of A. If we take a look here, see bounds, let me put it right, around the 618, and this one, I believe, is the 1.236, the 2%. So I'm waiting for this area. Also, the 74.57 is around the weekly trend line, but I want to buy that as a swing, because that's a great trade to the outside, at least 400 picks. That's the only one I trust. I don't trust the dollar right now. I got to be honest with you. I don't know about you guys, but I don't trust the dollar at all. The dollar can make a new low easily. Look, This is a huge trend line that coming from here in a wedgie. This is on the weekly chart. Look at this. On the weekly chart from here, look. 1, 2, 2 here, 3, 4, and then you gotta wait from the RSI around this trend line to start buying this pair. But this pair is gonna be a huge bounce. You agree with that, Zach, right? It's gonna be a huge bounce right there. At least this bounce. That's the minimum you're gonna get, something like this. At least it's gonna go to 79.50 when the upper trend line, and then when that trend line goes, that's a wedgie right there. A definition of the wedgie by the book right there. Any question, guys? Any question that anybody have? All right, guys. So if there is no question, leave it there. See you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do that day between today and tomorrow. And talk to you guys on Sunday. Thank you, guys. Have a good one then.